All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Shroom Guru podcast, where we talk about, well, generally informative topics. We'll have discussions, other type of shit, pretty much just whatever we want. So get used to that shit. But that being said, oh, hello, kitty. No, hold on. Okay, fuck. Cat. Hold on. Yeah, Michael's presenting today. Sorry, Michael, say hello or something. I gotta deal with this
Yes,
cat.
hello audience. I am presenting today.
All right, the cat is not in my lap. She's gonna stay there. We're recording now, so I can't just break the recording. I don't want to do the intro either. This is all
Damn.
staying in. Okay, Mike, what the fuck's going on today? Something about cars or something?
Yeah. I guess we'll start today's episode with a bit of a question and answer.
Ah, you know I love giving answers, Michael.
Yes. How do you feel about technicals?
Technicals? It depends on what you mean, because I know you have a very stringent definition of technical, while I am much more liberal with the definition of what a technical is not and is.
Okay, fair enough.
Like
We're
for
gonna
me, a tank is, in a way, a technical.
now. Funnily enough, there is a North Korean tank that could meet that definition
Oh, Jesus Christ.
because it is technically like a repurposed tractor,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I think.
Okay.
No, a tank is not a technical.
Yep, no, you're wrong. Go ahead, but keep
All
going.
right. Well, I mean, fuck you. But no, yeah, any sort of generally non any vehicle not originally designed to be used in combat, repurposed for combat. What do you feel about that?
I mean, yeah, probably pretty good when you're like trying to kill corrupt governments or whatever, or like, I don't know, something. I don't know, like vehicles of war are not really my forte. I'm pretty anti-war.
Yeah, but how are you going to remain anti-war if you don't have anything to raid your pro-war enemies with?
That's a fair point. Okay, you got me on board. I'm now pro-war.
Yes.
If I kill all my enemies, there can be no war.
Yes. Well, the I guess for our non like military poisoned brained addled
I'm not poisoning the
audience.
brain with military. Fuck you, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you.
What?
Stop trying to.
I know.
Stop trying to put that on me, motherfucker.
I know. I'm saying for the audience members
You
that aren't
man.
like horribly damaged like me.
Okay, yeah. What's going on?
All right. Yeah. So technicals are sort of the symbol of the kind of irregular military force, and we're going to talk about probably their both introduction and maybe sort of like shining hour in history, with that being the Toyota War.
Ooh, yes. Also, just to interject. Oh my god, my kitty's on my lap and she's so cute. Oh my god.
Yes, but she'd be much cuter if she was on a little technical that she could ride
Yeah,
around.
like give her like a little machine gun that shoots like real bullets and shit.
Yeah,
Give her like a repeating 22 that she could just fucking like slap with her kitty paws in order to shoot inside of the house.
yeah.
That'd be sick. Yeah, okay. So the Toyota Wars, what are they? I don't know, is it like Lord Honda and Lord Mitsubishi versus like the Toyota conglomerate or whatever?
No, it has absolutely nothing to do with Japan, just the Toyota car manufacturing company, sort of.
Okay, yeah. So what happened? Oh, did they
All
like
right.
rent their Toyotas out to like a Mongolian jihad or something?
So the Toyota War refers to generally the last year of the Chadian Libyan conflict.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yes, it's about a decade, or even I guess depending on where you want to like start it, beginning like 2 decade long conflict between the countries of Chad and Libya.
Makes sense.
Which, for some quick geography, in case you are unaware, audience, Libya is located directly west of Egypt, and Chad is located directly south of Libya.
Okay.
Yep. Now, basically, in 1968, Chad was in the middle of a civil war.
Okay,
Not
yeah.
good.
That's not great.
No, not great.
This was back
Now,
during all the civil wars that were happening constantly, right?
yeah, it was pretty common for a lot of post-colonial African countries to descend into civil war.
Yeah. Or to just stay
Um,
there, like South Sudan or whatever.
yeah. What?
Isn't South Sudan like whatever? Moving on.
Okay. But eventually, during the middle of this civil war, the king of Libya decided that I'm going to back the rebel faction fighting against the Chadian government.
It's like a bad idea.
Maybe. I mean, it was sort of like very limited support. It's like the rebels could like hang out in Libyan territory, and he could provide them with like non-weapon supplies.
Yeah, it's the so he buys a bunch of Toyotas.
Yeah, well, it was basically so they didn't piss off France, who was really sort of concerned. Well, France was the former colonial overlord of Chad, but now was sort of like kind of helping them out, sort of, not really.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. So the Libyan king is like, "Hey, you gonna
Yeah,
go kill some Chads?"
yeah. So that's 1968. Then the following year, the king Idris the First of Libya, he finds himself in the most unenviable position a monarch could have, which is being fucking cooed.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, and our boy Muammar Gaddafi comes to power.
Oh Christ.
Yeah. Now, Gaddafi immediately was like, "All right, vibe shift."
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Gaddafi definitely had a particular vibe.
Yeah. So instead of just providing sort of minimal support to the Chadian rebels, Gaddafi immediately laid claim to a part of a section of territory called and I'm going to apologize in advance for how I pronounce this, but I'm fairly certain this is correct. The Aouzou Strip,
Okay.
which is like this basically like this sort of like big thick section of Chad's northern border with Libya. And the ostensible justification for this was this section of territory had been part of Libya when it was still an Italian colony, but Italy had signed over the territory to France when Chad was still a French colony. And now Gaddafi was basically like, give it back.
Okay. So
And
Gaddafi mad.
yeah.
Okay.
And Libya had attempted to take the territory previously in the 50s, but France had repelled them.
So there's a lot of like bullshit going on between the Chadites and the Libyanites or whatever.
Yep.
Okay.
So Gaddafi begins supporting the rebels with more shit, and
Toyotas?
no, like weapons and explosives.
Ah, I see. Actual like bullshit. Gotcha.
Yes.
Yes, Italy's or nerve gas for killing the Chadites.
It's funny you use that accent because the Soviets were helping them.
Ah, I see. Ah, lovely. We love Soviet intervention.
Yes. So this sort of this kind of there's various like attempted coups that are made against the Chadian government, but like eventually in 1972 Gaddafi and the Chadian government come to some sort of agreement to cede the Aouzou Strip to Libya. It's not like entirely clear what like the nature of that agreement was, but it happens.
Okay. So he got what he
Uh,
wanted.
yeah. So then, yeah, and eventually this sort of agreement is sort of settled, and Libya moves in to occupy the Aouzou Strip.
Okay, makes sense. Like, yeah. So Libya, like, quote unquote, won.
Yeah, and then they all lived happily ever after, and
That
that's
is
the end of
not
the
the
story.
truth, Michael. Please do not
Yeah,
lie
I
to
know.
our audience.
Yeah.
Yes, what happened then, Mike?
Yeah, but then eventually, the Chadian government, the president of Chad, gets cooed and replaced.
And he's
And
like, deals off.
well, yeah, but then it's like, yeah, we're not happy about this. We're gonna ramp up. We're gonna recontinue our war against the rebels, and now this sort of continues for uh, a number of years as Libya continues to provide more support for the rebels, and now like want to essentially take over the rest of the country.
Jesus Christ. So Gaddafi's plans have expanded.
Yeah, which it seemed to be that he wanted to, well, in addition to just taking the Aozu Strip, he wanted to essentially have Chad as a sort of like puppet government.
Oh
So,
yeah, so like it could be a what is that shit called? A buffer state with Egypt or whatever the fuck.
no, he wanted so he could like essentially extend his sort of influence down into like Central Africa.
Oh, makes sense. Because
Yeah.
the Libya borders the Mediterranean, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that'd be sick for him, I guess.
Yeah. So like eventually this like eventually devolves into like a full-scale war. The Libya is sort of is vastly like out arms Chad. They've got like modern like tanks, armored vehicles, and aircraft.
Rocket launchers and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're mostly providing support to the rebels.
Who
Uh,
are the Russians backing them? Or sorry, the Soviets.
yeah, they're providing all of
So they
the
got
like
like proper guns and shit as well.
yeah
Okay, so yeah,
yeah.
it sounds like Chad is fucked.
Yeah, I mean they're not as fucked as they could have been because France comes in and like provides airstrikes against rebel
Whoa,
Libya.
he dropped the bombs.
Yes, yeah, they're shaped like baguettes.
Yeah, they dropped the big baguette bunker busters or whatever the fuck.
Yep. But eventually, yeah. So this sort of these combats and sort of escalations of like forays into Chadian territory continue for years.
Jesus.
Yes. Um, but eventually, a sort of a ceasefire is eventually agreed in the mid '80s.
Okay, yeah, nice. That's peace. We like
Yeah,
peace.
and so like a kind of like demilitarized zone is established.
Is it the Aozu Strip?
No, that's firmly under Libyan control. But
Okay.
then there's also another like further section that's like firmly under like rebel and Libyan control.
Okay, makes sense.
Yep. Now let's see.
Oh yeah, you
All
gotta
right.
read your notes, buddy.
Yeah.
Just do what I do and just say it all off the top of the dome, and if you're wrong, who cares?
Yeah. Now, so in the period of the sort of ceasefire, Chad begins to sort of like increase their strength, so to say,
How
so to
so?
speak.
Like with more people, or they're like, you know
Uh,
what? Children can be soldiers too. Let's get.
Diplomatically,
Oh, okay. With the United States, I'm assuming.
they eventually the U.S. does eventually jump in, but
They're
no,
like,
they
oh, you're fighting Soviets. Well, and they're just like getting the CIA on the phone, like, we got another one, boys.
no they Chad begins to there's a lot of like negotiations and sort of like wheeling and dealing made with a lot of these rebel groups. And eventually, the Chadian government is able to kind of peel away a lot of the rebel support that Libya had previously had.
Ah, so they get them back.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for Chad.
Yeah. Also, the sort of like the morale of the Libyan troops is beginning to flag a bit.
I mean, yeah, they've been sitting there fucking trying to blow up the same shit and kill the same people for years now.
Yes, and they're also doing all of this basically in the middle of the Sahara Desert.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
They're having a bad fucking time.
Yeah. But now, thanks to some arms shipments from France and like Nigeria and the U.S., Chad feels sort of more invigorated to deal a decisive blow against
I like that.
Libya.
Invigorated.
Yes, but one of the main elements of this sort of reinforcement was about three or no, not 300, 800 Toyotas.
Oh, yeah. What model? What model of Toyota was it? Like a truck?
Probably like Hilixes.
I don't know what that is.
It was just a very popular model.
A truck? Like, what the fuck is it?
Yeah, it's a pickup truck.
Yeah, pickups, baby.
Yeah.
Yes, we got mad Toyotas now.
Yes, as well as Milan wire guided anti tank missiles.
Ah, so I see that we are now going to mount the anti-tank missiles to the Toyotas, correct?
Yeah. Yes. I'm sorry. 400 Toyota pickup trucks.
There you go, 400.
Yep. Now,
we are sorry they do not come with gas.
yes. Now the sort of opening battle of this sort of new offensive is the Battle of Fada.
Okay. As in
which
cannon fodder, or?
well, funny you say that.
Okay.
Yeah, which is sort of this Libyan stronghold. They had like a big armored force there. It was maybe approximately like 15 to 1600 Libyan and rebel troops,
Okay.
and and Chad was coming in with about 3000 troops, so about twice their number.
Mounted up in them Hondas.
Yes, and
Gotcha.
the Libyans also had
Sorry,
like
Toyotas, my bad.
yes, and the Libyans also had like a shitload of tanks and other armored vehicles too.
Okay, yeah, they have a bunch of shit. Okay.
Yeah. Now
And this is
this is
out in the
like
desert, right?
pretty much.
All right.
um Now, this battle ends up being like a complete fucking wipe for the Libyans.
Oh, Jesus. Like, why? What the fuck? So, I'm assuming they just did that shit. They just ride around in the Toyotas and just shoot fucking missiles at them.
Pretty much, like they took the rebels and the Libyans basically completely by surprise.
I mean, it's also, I imagine, very difficult to fire a tank gun at a fucking Toyota car as it drives through the desert.
Yes, the Toyotas were incredibly highly mobile, whereas the armored vehicles were not.
They're like, well, fuck.
Yeah, so like immediately about half of the Libyan rebel forces are dead.
Jesus Christ.
And the rest just like run away. And
They abandon their equipment.
yes, a whole bunch are actually more vehicles are destroyed than captured thanks to the
Jeez.
fucking missiles. Yeah, they destroy well over like 120 vehicles.
Fucking Christ, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, all for a loss of 18 Shadian troops killed and 3 trucks destroyed.
Oh no. Is it 3 trucks for 18 soldiers, or do the soldiers die separate from the trucks?
I don't know how that necessarily breaks down, but
Well, the only reason I'm asking is that there's 6 motherfuckers per pickup truck.
oh yeah, they'll fucking like
They're
pile
just
in on
packed.
these things.
They're
Oh,
packed
yeah.
up to the fucking max with pickups.
Yeah, if you see photos of insurgents riding around in technicals, yeah, they fucking load up on them.
Okay, so it's like, yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
So they just dumpster the fucking Libyans, gotcha.
yeah. So they, yeah, this is like an extremely good push for the Chadian forces.
And they're fighting in what should be Chad, correct? Like, this is not in
Yeah,
Libya.
this is effectively occupied Chadian territory.
Okay, gotcha. Nice.
Yeah.
Pog even.
Yes. Now, immediately,
To be
Gaddafi's like,
clear,
oh,
the Libyans were the aggressors, correct? Like they were
absolutely.
They were like, yeah, flame the rebels and go kill all the fucking Chadians. All right, good. Then we
Yes.
like this. This is the type
Yes.
of W that we can get behind.
Yes. Now, obviously,
W for wire guided rocket. Yeah, go ahead.
now, eventually, the Chadians are able to even push up into the Aouzou Strip.
Oh, they're like, yeah, baby, we're gonna roll up in some goddamn Toyotas right, get that strip back, baby.
Yes. Unfortunately, they're kind of pushed back by a renewed sort of Libyan counteroffensive.
Ah, did they lose any more trucks?
Yeah, and now the Libyans are sort of like
Well, we got trucks too.
yes, literally, they begin using technicals themselves.
So now they just got a bunch of dudes in the back of a truck with machine guns and shit. And they're having like fucking like derby battles out in the middle of the Sahara Desert.
Yes, literally.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, it's like a GTA multiplayer event. Fuck.
Yeah,
Christ.
and at this point, France is still providing airstrikes against the Libyans, although they're not exactly happy with the Chadians because they technically broke the ceasefire by attacking.
Ah.
But the U.S. is now like fully in with Chad now because
They have sent in the alphabet agents.
yes, because we don't
Fuck
like Gaddafi.
Fuck the Soviets.
Yeah.
Kill them.
Yep. So we're like supplying them with like fucking Stinger anti-air missile launchers too.
Sophisticated guided missile capabilities coming from the back of a fucking Toyota Hilux.
Yep. So the air superiority that the Libyans had enjoyed against Chad was now sort of waning.
Yep, they're just trying to like drop bombs and kill people in a war of aggression, and then they're just like, well, all our planes get blown up.
Yep. Yep. But eventually, Gaddafi's like, oh fuck, this isn't going well.
She starts sweating.
Yeah, which eventually he's like, oh, this like I'm losing control of this war. I better fucking find a way out of this. And eventually they negotiate a ceasefire in September of '87.
Okay.
And the Aozu and for in a another dub for
Big
Chad.
dubs, taking
Yes.
home dubs.
And a rare win for the International Court of Justice, the Aozu Strip was formally declared to be Chadian territory in 1993.
Got him.
Yes.
It fucked Gaddafi. We hate Gaddafi in these parts.
Yes.
Yeah. Now that being said, Mike, what's your favorite thing about Gaddafi?
My
Mine is that he
favorite thing?
lost a ton. He took home nothing but L's almost
Um,
constantly.
yeah. I have two.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
The first was his support for dividing up Switzerland between Germany, France, and Italy.
Why? Why do you like that?
Because it's incredibly funny.
Okay.
He basically calling for Switzerland to be abolished and divided up is
Polish Switzerland.
yeah.
Okay. What's the other thing?
The other thing is that whenever he would travel, like he would bring like he would always stay in this like super luxurious tent.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's incredibly funny.
Oh my god. Well, okay, is that the end of the Toyota war? So like the Chads take home the W?
Yes, they use Toyotas to achieve the W.
Okay, so you said this is like the jumping off point for the technical. Like,
Yes.
did that just become a thing after this?
Oh, absolutely. Because I mean, in any sort of like regional conflict nowadays, you'll find all sorts of shit where people like create even wilder versions of technicals
Yeah,
where
like
they'll
that
just
North
like
Korean tank that's a tractor.
yeah, I mean, on the technical alignment chart.
Just like buck fucking wild. Like
Yeah,
what are those little like the little bus that drags around all those like little tiny cars with wheels in India? You know what I'm talking about? They're
um
like the three wheels, they just like stick out the side and shoot guns out.
oh, like a tuk-tuk.
Yeah, like a tuk tuk, yeah. Tuk
I've
tuk with a fucking M60 machine gun.
I've never seen an armed tuk-tuk, but I'm
Okay,
sure
yeah,
that's
what
probably something that could exist.
list some buck fucking wild technicals that you're aware of.
Well, I've seen one that took the like turret of a BMP-1 infantry fighting vehicle and
The
basically
fuck is
mounted.
that?
It's like a tank.
So it's like a big gun.
Yeah, it's like a 50 millimeter cannon in a
Jesus
turret that they like
Christ.
mounted. It's really funny. They kind of like put it up on stilts in the bed of the truck.
What truck was this? Was it another Hilux?
I don't remember the make and model. I don't think it was a Toyota, but
Would
it
it
was
like
just like a
flip the
flatbed.
fucking car when it shot? What the fuck?
I don't know how exactly it worked if it had like outriggers or something, but it just looked really fucking stupid.
Any other buck fucking wild?
Yeah, there was one that took the I don't remember what vehicle it came off of. It may have been like a Russian MLRS system, but it basically this giant basically like multiple missile launching like barrage
Oh,
vehicle
Jesus Christ.
and had mounted it onto the back of a big truck and then had like installed outriggers and shit so that it wouldn't like flip over when it was fired.
What the fuck?
Yeah, another really popular one is to take like rocket pods from like helicopters,
Oh my god.
like mount them on it like at angles to essentially function as like makeshift artillery.
What the fuck? That's awful. I hate that.
Yeah. Isn't it great?
Oh my god. So I guess that means that we have the Chadites to thank for the overwhelming force that the Toyota now poses in warfare.
Yes, yes. It's straight. It's funny because you can draw a straight line from the Toyota War way back to World War II when the British, the inventor of the technical, were doing this shit in the desert against the Nazis.
Yeah, just riding around in their like Ford trucks or whatever the fuck with machine guns, just shooting Nazis.
Yes, literally yes.
See, the funny thing is like there's like not a lot of weapons that can like without expending significant resources destroy a fucking car. Like, it sounds really stupid, but like you would need like a machine gun, or else you're not gonna kill them. Like anything bigger and you can't hit them. Anything that shoots slower and it's also impossible. You know what I mean? So like you
Yeah,
either need like landmines or like a proper fucking like shoot gun really fast type weapon.
or aircraft.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you just carpet bomb the whole area, Mike, but like your bombs probably cost more individually than that fucking car does.
I mean, that's a fair point.
So like the amount of bullets you'd shoot from a machine gun are at least most likely less expensive than the car. Remember, war is all about like money.
Yes. I mean,
Money.
yeah, it's a fair point, but when the fucking hypermobile cars are also like can shoot a fucking like anti-tank missile from like 500 yards away at you, it's like extremely difficult to like have your prepared position against a bunch of highly mobile like anything from like a machine gun to like again like fucking doom rockets.
Jesus Christ. Well, Mike, thank you very much for being our presenter today. I
Yeah.
cannot wait for not tomorrow, next week episode where we will be discussing well, to put it simply, feet.
Ooh, yes. I'm very excited for you to tell me all about this because I'm either going to be horribly fascinated or fascinatingly horrified.
Yeah. Also, I think after that, me and you are going to be doing a joint presentation, also kind of about feet. At least my part's going to be about feet.
Oh, right. Gotcha. Yeah.
So I hope everyone's excited for the feet double feature. We'll see you all then. Bye bye.
Bye.